If you follow MediaWise or are familiar with our fact checks, you know that misinformation is kind of our thing. We talk about misinformation and how it spreads on social media a lot. So when I saw this Reddit post claiming that Republican Senator Rand Paul told a group of students that, quote, misinformation works and that it is a great tactic, I knew I had to look into it. So, did the Republican Senator from Kentucky really tell a group of students that misinformation is a great tactic? Time to find out. Is this legit? Hey guys, it's Ian, and welcome back to Is This Legit, a YouTube series produced by a team of MediaWise teen fact checkers. Here we debunk viral misinformation online. See, I told you we talk about misinformation a lot, while also teaching you some easy fact-checking tips you can use on your own. Now, before we dive into the fact check, let's talk about Reddit and how the platform is uniquely dangerous when it comes to sharing misinformation. Reddit is commonly called the front page of the internet. It's like a modern-day bulletin board with literally everything: articles, photos, memes, stories, and opinions. And within Reddit, there are hundreds of thousands of communities called subreddits. And with more than 400 million active monthly members, there is an enormous amount of content out there. But with that much content, it's really easy for misinformation to spread, and even easier for false facts to go viral. Partly because Reddit doesn't actually use employees to conduct content moderation. At least, not like the same way other platforms do to let you know if a post is false or misleading. Instead, according to the What's a Moderator page, Reddit's moderators are Reddit users that volunteer their time to run their own communities, which means that moderators, or mods, have a lot of discretion over what can be shared on their subreddits. And some channels can be a breeding ground for misinformation. Now, back to the fact check. The original post was shared in a popular subreddit called r/politics, which, according to the description, is, quote, for news and discussion about US politics. The subreddit itself has nearly 8 million members, so controversial posts can reach a whole lot of people. That's definitely the case with this post, which got 67,000 upvotes, which are pretty much likes or faves on this platform. And one thing that stood out to me is that we just have this headline to go off of. That's it. No additional context. So we don't know what kind of misinformation Senator Paul was talking about here. Misinformation about elections? Given that the senator has vocally denounced CDC guidelines, is he talking about COVID misinformation? And this is why it's super important that you read beyond the headline. Headlines simply can't give you all the information that reading an article can. Not to mention, headlines can be sensationalized, super misleading, or just straight up clickbaity. Now the good thing is that there is a link to a Newsweek article included in the post, which Reddit makes super tiny. But let's head directly to the source and check out the article for ourselves. And in the very first sentence, Newsweek wrote that, quote, Senator Rand Paul said that misinformation could be a great tactic during a speech to a group of medical students in 2013. According to the article, the video resurfaced on Twitter a day after Rand Paul had a heated exchange with Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Fauci during a Senate hearing. Newsweek goes on to say that Rand, being an ophthalmologist prior to entering politics, was giving a lecture to med students at the University of Louisville School of Medicine. One of the students at the lecture asked Paul for advice on taking exams, and the senator advised using misinformation to trick other competing students, saying, quote, I would sometimes share misinformation, and this is a great tactic. Misinformation can be very important. The future senator then goes on to say how he would spread rumors amongst his classmates about what would be on tests. Newsweek embedded a tweet with the video of the exchange, but I went ahead and found the full 40-minute video on YouTube to make sure I wasn't missing any other important context.
Senator Paul, a majority of the med students here today have a comprehensive exam tomorrow. Just wondering if you have any last-minute advice.
Actually, I do. I'll tell you, I never ever cheated, and I don't condone cheating, but I would sometimes spread misinformation. And this is a great tactic. Misinformation can be very important. So one time we were in the library and we were studying for a path test, and so we just started spreading the rumor that we knew what was on the test, and it was definitely all about liver. Everything, there's going to be a vast majority of questions all about liver. So we tried to trick all of our competing students into overstudying for the liver and not studying for the kidney and every other organ that's on there. But so that's my advice. Misinformation works. So try to trick your opponents into knowing that the test is about something it's not.
So yeah, the senator did say this. However, the clip is really old, from before misinformation became a major buzzword in the political world. Also, he's not referencing falsehoods about COVID-19 or elections, which are dangerous sources of misinformation. After news of the video spread, a spokesperson for the senator gave the following statement. Anyone who watches the video can clearly see that he was making a lighthearted joke addressing stresses of medical school. But now it's time for our rating. We're going to give this quote a needs context rating. While yes, the senator did say this to a group of students, this headline could have benefited from some extra information. The quote is more than 9 years old, and someone seeing this today without that knowledge could think the senator was talking about more recent misinformation. Remember, headlines can often leave out important information for clicks. Simply adding "in 2013" or "resurfaced" in the headline would have been super helpful. Well, thanks for watching. Remember to be careful with the posts you see on Reddit. More upvotes doesn't necessarily make it true. And remember to subscribe to MediaWise. Bye guys!
Don't compromise, be media wise.